All right, let's look at one more application with our modified RC servo. Again, if you're just seeing this for the first time, we've modified one of these things so that it can continuously rotate while still maintaining its ability to seek positions. Oh, and we've done that using a Mocoder, which is a magnetic encoder. We replaced the potentiometer, which comes stock in these things, with one of these guys. Okay, so for this particular application, what I've done is I've taken a modified servo and put it into a gearbox. Now, a gearbox is handy for amplifying the torque output of the motor. In this case, it's a 5-to-1 gear ratio, so we're getting 5 times the lifting force from the motor. The trade-off is that you divide the speed by 5. However, if you were to use a conventional RC servo, you'd also be limiting the range of motion by 5 as well. So if you think about it, a typical servo can only rotate 0 to 180 degrees. And that would mean that when we put it in a 5-to-1 gearbox, you are dividing its range of motion by 5. So it can only rotate 0 to 36 degrees. Now, if you want to build like a humanoid that has some ability to lift real things, you want to have both a wide range of motion for those joints, like the elbow, the shoulder, but you also want it to have that enhanced power. So you need to use one of these things, but you can't use a conventional servo. So with one of the modified servos like we have here, we have the continuous rotation, so we can rotate as many times as we want, but we still have the position seeking. So let's have a look at this in action. So I programmed it. Better speak up. Okay, so I programmed it to do 2 full rotations of this output gear, which is 10 rotations of this smaller pinion gear. And you probably couldn't do that, or you definitely couldn't do that with a conventional servo. You'd only have a tiny range of motion like this. Okay, so then it goes 2 times in reverse back to its original position. So that's a handy thing. Also, another feature, like we explored in the last example, is that we can program this thing, thanks to the Arduino here. We can program this thing just by manually moving its position and sampling that. So now it moves between here and here. I didn't have to reprogram it. And I didn't have to dig into the code at all. So that becomes like, that could be an interesting way of programming robots, like by taking samples and storing them as keyframes and moving between those positions. Much like you would do with 3D animations. Anyways, I hope you can think of some applications for something like this. Check out this website. I'll put the link below if you're seeing this on YouTube, or just look below for the tutorial on how to build one of these things yourself. Thanks.